let's talk about benchmarks and how that's important. When I first ran my benchmarks for both the Intel powered machine Dell and the AMD powered machine from ASUS, I did run them on their balance settings. One thing you do have to do for both devices, you want to go into the device apps for Dell and ASUS. And for Dell, you want to go to Ultra Performance, and you want to go to performance mode for the ASUS to actually use the full capabilities and run those benchmarks. So I did run my first benchmark with Cinebench R23 here. For single core performance, the ZenBook came in at last place with 1,425, followed by the Dell XPS 13 Plus with 1,432, and the MacBook Air M2 came in at number one spot of 1,596. Now in multi-core performance here, in last place was the MacBook Air M2 at 8,154, followed by the ZenBook 13 OLED at 9,413, and then finally the Dell XPS 13 Plus at 10,383. Now this should be noted that both machines, actually all machines, were actually plugged in just to make everything balanced out, because even though the MacBook Air M2 doesn't need to be plugged in for such benchmarks. Now, seeing that all these devices are competitive when it comes to benchmark, let's look at some real world scenarios. So I decided to use, of course, Adobe Premiere because I can use it across all devices, including the Mac. And in terms of running times, third place, we have the ASUS ZenBook 13 with 5 minutes and 50 seconds for a 10-minute clip. Coming up second is actually the MacBook Air M2 at 4 minutes and 55 seconds. And in first place is the Dell XPS 13 Plus at 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Now, here's the big caveat here. Both the Intel and the AMD machines had to be on, of course, performance mode, and they both had to be plugged in, while the MacBook Air M2 didn't need to be plugged in, and there's no mode change in there. Okay.